First person. So the next person that this commission would like to hear is Mr. Rafi Alam. And he is a distinguished environmental lawyer and Yale World Fellow. He's been working very closely with many of us in the water sector. And so we are going to hear from him on environmental law, regulation, and what is happening in the legal sectors related to water. So please put your questions, Senator.
As a major factor. And I would like to link water governance, especially in the provinces, because it's supposed to be a provincial subject, water. And what are the legal instruments and the legal framework that determines the role of the provinces, and are we living up to it, and how do you also view their interaction with the federal government on this issue, because this issue does not have any boundaries.
Correct. Thank you, Senator Saab. Well, the law is an art trying to be a science. So there's many imperfections when it comes to law, and trying to understand its logic is sometimes infuriating. I think it was Oliver Wendell Holmes who said the life of the law is not logic, it is experience. We have, in our experience, decided that water and water resources shall be governed by the provinces. And this is a tradition that goes back well over 100 years to the Government of India Act 1919, and then reflected in the Government of India Act 1935 and in our own constitutions as well. What we've done is we've said that the water resources of each province is to be governed on their own. However, if you have a dispute between water resources between provinces, we've established a constitutional body, the Council of Common Interests, who has two jobs, in my opinion. One is to set certain types of policies, and the second is to adjudicate inter-provincial water disputes. To date, not a single water dispute has been resolved by the Council of Common Interests. Several have been referred. One was referred in 1977. It's called the Chief Justice's Commission on the complaint of Sindh that the water resources of Pakistan were not being appropriately shared amongst the provinces. The Chief Justice's Commission, comprising the Chief Justice Pakistan, the 4 Chief Justices of the High Courts, came together, but before they could finalize their recommendations and decision, the Constitution was abrogated and the Council of Common Interests went out the window. Most recently, actually, this summer, the Council of Common Interests was again approached by Sindh on the subject of canals in Cholistan. And while the Council did deliberate on the matter, it chose, in my opinion, to, as they say, kick the can down the road. They said, we'll come to a consensus later. So no decision was actually made. And I make this point because we seem to be incapable to be able to talk to each other provincially on water. We fight on water, but we haven't learned how to talk to each other on water, because the council should be the place where these political tensions are diffused. And that has been a failure in our governance, as Ehsan Saab was saying earlier, that water scarcity in Pakistan is not an absolute scarcity. It's a scarcity of governance and good governance. Coming to floods and what sort of legal mechanisms we have. Well, after the 2010 floods, it was decided that disaster management should be integrated in Pakistan, and the Disaster Management Act of 2010 was passed. We have a National Disaster Management Authority and Provincial Disaster Management Authorities that are supposed to prepare for things like floods. The word is prepare. I can go into great detail about that law, but the effectiveness of these institutions are clear in their actions, especially earlier this summer in the floods. Beyond that, in Punjab, most recently, has updated its Irrigation Act. It now has something called the Punjab Irrigation, Drainage and Rivers Act of 2023, which has a chapter on flooding. It is the responsibility of the Secretary to come up with a flood strategy for the province, and it is the responsibility of every Canal Division officer to come up with an annual flood plan. Now, since 2023, this law has not been acted upon. It's nice to have something on paper. Like I said, the life of the law is sometimes very frustrating to follow, because you can see the black and white written there, no action being taken either. In KPK, where we saw immense destruction because of flash floods in Bonaire and other places, The law from 2002, the KPK Rivers Protection Ordinance, prohibits any construction, commercial or otherwise, within 200 feet across from the slope of the high water point of every river. So what are settlements doing on the banks of the river? Since 2002, it is banned and illegal to have settlements next to rivers. And so when we see these destructions, when we see the destruction of that hotel in Swat that keeps on coming up on the banks of the river, it is a violation of this law and a failure of our governance. Again, I think I'll end there. It's not a good situation, Senator Saab. We don't know how to speak to each other on water. When we do make laws on water, we don't act on them. And this is the result we get.
Thank you for being so articulate and clear and enhancing the understanding of this commission on this crucial subject.